Hello there. Welcome to Economics Info. In this video, we want to look at a question paper of June 2024. And we're going to look at the first question of that question paper, that is question 1. We're going to start on the first part where we are having a multiple choice questions. So on question 1, that is on 1.1, it reads various options are given as possible answers to the following questions. Choose the answer and write only the letter A to D next to the question number. We've got 1.1.1 up to 1.1.10. In the answer book. So the first part, which is 1.1.1, it reads dash is not part of the circular flow diagram. And we know the circular flow model that it shows the flow of income in the economy, and it has got some participants in terms of direction of movement of the income. So on the responses that you are given, we would see that businesses, they are part of the circular flow model. Income is the part of, remember, income will be flowing in between the participants. So we have got income also part of the circular flow model. Also, households are part of the circular flow model. So recycling, you know that that one is not a part of our circular flow model. So we've got D, which is the correct answer there, because D, cycling is not part of the circular flow model. So we've got C, that is the answer on 1.1.1. Then we go to the next question, which is 1.1.2. And it reads the economic segment that creates finished goods, usable products, is known as the dash sector. Obviously, the creation of finished goods is done when goods are being manufactured, and obviously that happens in the secondary sector. So we have got B as the correct answer. And then we've got 1.1.3. It reads the value of the best alternative is called, we know that is opportunity cost. And we know opportunity cost basically is defined as the cost of the best alternative forgone, given options. The option that you choose and the option that you forgo becomes the opportunity cost. So that is the best alternative. So opportunity cost, then we go to 1.1.4. It reads the satisfaction derived from consuming a product is called, we know that this is utility. We've got utility as the correct answer. 1.1.5 reads the economic system used in South Africa is known as the, and you know there are various economic systems that we have. We have got the free market economic system, we've got the fixed economic system, and also we have got the mixed economic system. So basically, in South Africa, the mixed economy is the one which is applicable, whereby we are saying the mixed economy, we are saying it accepts both private businesses and nationalized government services. So it's a mixture that we have there of a fixed and a free market economy. So this is what we have in terms of 1.1.5. So here you're saying mixed. Then we can move on to the next one, which is 1.1.6, which is saying a change in quantity demanded due to a change in income is referred to as dash elasticity. And we know that that one is income elasticity. Very simple as it is. So we've got B, which is 1.1.6. And then we go to the next page where we're having 1.1.7. Let's try to see. So on 1.1.7 is saying the word scarcity means, let's go through the responses that we have. But if you go through the responses, you're going to see that it means limited means to satisfy unlimited ones. So is that what is the meaning of what of a scarcity? Then we go to the 1.1.8. It reads when buyers and sellers meet to negotiate the exchange of prohibited goods, it is referred to as the dash market. So the keyword that we have there is prohibited goods, which means these are illegal goods. And we know that that can only happen in the black market. So we have got C as the correct answer. And then the expansion that we have in terms of the black market is that that's where commodities are exchanged at a platform, whether physical or virtual, where goods or services are exchanged illegally. So what makes the market black is the legal nature of the goods and services that are being exchanged. So this is what we have in terms of a black market. And then we go to 1.1.9, reads trading with other countries across national borders and overseas is called, we know that is globalization. We know number 9, we are having B as the answer there, globalization. So basically also, if you go on to try and define what we mean by globalization, you know that globalization basically is a process of interaction and integration among people, be it companies, and government, and this interaction is being done at a worldwide level. So this is what we have in terms of globalization. Then we go to 1.1.10, which is saying a decrease in the price of chicken will result in a dash the demand curve. So this is trying to explain what happens with the demand curve when the price changes. We know that when the price changes, price is the only factor that doesn't shift the demand curve. When the price changes, we are only going to notice a movement along the demand curve. So what we are saying is basically, let's say this is our graph, whereby we're having the vertical axis and the horizontal axis. Obviously, we're having price there, quantity there. So the demand curve is negatively sloped. So whenever there's a change in price, there is a movement along the demand curve. The demand curve does not shift. So price is the only factor that cannot shift at the demand curve. But when it changes, we are going to see maybe if the change from A to B, it's going to be along on the demand curve. So this is what we have in terms of price. So if you look at the responses that we are having there, you would see that A is the correct answer, which is saying a movement on the demand curve. So we have got A on 1.1.10. Then we can go to the second part, which is the true or false section, which reads indicate whether the following statements are true or false by writing only true or false next to the question number, that is 1.2.1 up to 1.2.5 in the answer book. So if you go to 1.2.1, it reads a product market refers to a market for goods and services. So obviously this is true. This is true, so we can leave our true there. And then 1.2.2 reads an individual producer is a price maker in the perfect market. So as soon as we have the description of a perfect market, we know that you cannot be a price maker in a perfect market. Why? Because in a perfect market, that's a market where the sellers of a product are free to compete fairly. So obviously, there is competition that is bound to come, and you can never be a price maker. So on 1.2.2, we are seeing that this statement is false. You can only be a price taker in a perfect market. That's what we are trying to say. Then I'll go to 1.2.3. Marginal utility refers to additional utility, which is correct. You know that marginal utility is the additional satisfaction that has been gained by an additional unit. Let's say we have been consuming 20 units. As soon as you consume an extra unit, you go to 21. The additional utility that we gain by consuming one extra unit that has led you to consume 21 units is what we call marginal utility. So 1.2.3 is correct because it reads marginal utility refers to additional utility. So 1.2.3 we are saying true. Then we go to 1.2.4. 1.2.4 reads variable costs are the cost that increase as production increases. That's very correct. We know that variable costs they change with the level of production. So there is a proportionate change that is there when level of production changes. So we are saying when level of production increases, we are going to see variable costs going up. When level of production decreases, variable costs also go down. So that's what we have. So a positive relationship is do exist between level of production and the variable cost. So this is what we have in terms of 1.2.4. So we're saying this statement is true. Then 1.2.5 reads complementary goods are goods that can be used instead of other goods. We know that this description of goods being used instead of other goods do apply to substitute goods. Substitute goods are the goods that can be used in place of the other. For example, tea and coffee, they can be used in place of the other. You can either drink, you can use coffee instead of tea. So that those are substitute goods. But complementary goods, they are used at the same time. We are talking about a car and petrol. You cannot move a car without petrol. So that's complementary goods. So we are seeing that 1.2.5 is false. So this is what we have in terms of the second this part of our question one. Then we can move on to the next part, which is saying complete the following sentences by writing only the missing word or words next to the question number. That is 1.4.1 up to 1.4.5 in the answer book. The 1.4.1 reads dash are costs that remain that remain the same even if the production increases. We know that we've been talking about variable costs where we're saying they do change with the level of production. But when it comes to fixed costs, they remain the same even if the production cost increases. So we are saying on 1.4.1 we are having our fixed costs explaining this explanation. We've got fixed costs. Then we can move on to the next question, which is saying income less consumption is equal to, we know that is equal to savings. So we try to illustrate in terms of the formula that we have that will lead us to have income less than consumption. Remember, when we say consumption plus savings, you're going to get your income. So obviously, when we say income less consumption, if you make S instead of the formula there, that is savings, you are going to say S is equals to income. You take your consumption, the other side, it becomes negative. So this is exactly what is being explained. So Y is representing our income. So this is what we have. Then you go to 1.4.3. The dash is the price where the quantity demanded is equal to the quantity supplied. We know that that's the equilibrium price, where quantity demanded is equal to quantity supplied. Remember, this is the determination of price due to the free floating of the forces of supply and demand. When the forces of supply and demand are not being interrupted, we are seeing that they determine the price where they meet, where the curves intersect. So we are having a supply curve being positively sloped and the demand curve being negatively sloped. So where they meet, that's where we're going to have an equilibrium price. So this is what is being explained by the question. So if you go back there, we can try to reread the statement, which is saying the dash is the price where the quantity demanded is equal to the quantity supply. So that's exactly the illustration that we have put there. So we are saying here the answer that we have is equilibrium. Equilibrium price. So on the next part of the question is saying the demand curve for monopolistic competition is, we know that the demand curve for monopolistic competition is downward sloping. So basically it's a negative slope that describes the demand curve of monopolistic competition. So here we are saying downward sloping. Then the last part of the question is saying the remuneration of an entrepreneur is, we know that is profit. Remember, profit also comes as a factor income of entrepreneurship. Remember, we've got the factors of production that we have, that is our land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. And other income that we have in terms of land, we've got rent, and we've got capital interest. And also, when it comes to entrepreneurship, we regard profit as the factor income. So that's the remuneration of an entrepreneur, that is profit. So that is what we have, guys, according to this video. Those who have subscribed, please subscribe and share. We're still coming with more videos as we prepare for exams. As for this video, I'm out. We'll meet again in the next video.